Now, let's get to the live stream. And don't forget to like, subscribe,
and obey.
That? That was... Nobody asked for that information.
Well, I mean,
So-
everyone needs to know, I'm sure. We're live, though, starting with... Why? Nobody needs to know that.
And we're gonna leave it there, because nobody needs to know.
Nobody needs to know.
FBI, open up!
Alright, so, everyone watching, obviously, thank you for joining us. Also have a Ko-Fi account. It's linked down below. It's this awesome little thing where you can go tip us if you want to just throw money at me. I've got my GoFundMe, of course, still, because that has not made a ton of progress, and I am still really wanting to get back to my day job, which requires a car. But the Ko-Fi is also really cool. There's a little services tab in there, and if you want me to do one of a small selection of voices, we can do personal messages for you, ones that would go up as videos or here on the live stream with your choice of purchase. You know, a perfect example of what you could do is, Jonathan Taylor would like to tell his sister, Jennifer, happy birthday! And we can do things, I can do things like that for you. Prices ranging from $10 all the way up to $100 for like significantly longer pieces than just that. So yeah, check that out. But let's go ahead and get started with the actual session, because that's way more important than me plugging shit. Well, except maybe like my bottom, but that's also not stream worthy. So this is going back to like episode 1 on this question, when everyone was like talking to the hermit, and in particular, Cleth was like, "Is this gonna hurt us?" And the hermit's like, trying to get you to define what hurt is and getting all philosophical, and he made that infected analogy about how if there's an infection, you know, is it harmful to cut the toe off? Yes, because cutting your toe off hurts, but is it really harmful in the grand scheme of things? Does anyone have any thoughts on that? Having seen everything up to this point, in particular the ritual that happened right after?
Not really.
Not that I can think of at the moment.
I would need to go back and re-listen just to like refresh my brain, because it was, you know what I mean.
It was a while ago at this point.
And I don't think I made any notes about it.
I mean, it
But
seemed
if
fairly inconsequential, so...
Yeah.
And I had ties and thoughts in there. It's not necessarily this big, grand scheme thing, but especially since it was throwing around a more philosophical tone in relation to the matters at hand, I figured I'd see if anyone actually had thoughts about that after having experienced more in the campaign. The next one being something that happened just a little bit after that, when Cleth was like, you know, I feel like you're not telling me the whole story, and he was going on about how it's not my story, it's all of your stories. So it's probably in the same boat, I would guess, both from the same episode. About any thoughts on those?
That one just kind of seems like the obvious, okay, yeah, this is our story of what happens to these characters.
Yeah.
I can't think of many super deep thoughts about that.
That's fair enough. And finally, the last one that I put on my list here of things I wanted to cover was, does anyone have any theories about why this isekai happened? Besides the obvious me being a jerk, but like a lore reason and in canon how this happens.
Probably has something to do with the universes colliding.
Yeah, I would say even with the shards of chaos or the chaos emeralds that we've discovered.
I think it has something to do with the portal that I went through last week.
I mean, that falls in the same bracket with the whole worlds colliding thing.
But I think they're all related. Like, I think that all of the answers are yes. Like,
Yeah.
Ultimately, everything is connected, even if it's only like loosely and at a distance. So, yeah, there being like this one core reason, which kind of spawned a whole mess of reasons that then spawned their lesser reasons that ultimately led to whatever the little thing is. So, yeah, we can go ahead and start the recap then. Since we did actually finish part of a chapter, I'm going to go ahead and do the recap. Keep it fairly brief about everything that's happened for this first part. One of the very first things was Lance, not Wrath, but Lance, having a dream just, a couple days after the one where Wrath re-experienced what happened to his crew and family. And he met loosely Astaroth, only hearing their voice, and played through a apparently dangerous game, saw more of Wrath's past, kind of gets the feeling that maybe the past wasn't actually written and you were writing it then. Pius has been experiencing dreams, has experienced it twice. Of course, is the same dream. Actually got to meet and speak with Dr. Druindar Rythal. You learned a few things off that. That whatever's going on with Dr. Druindar, reality, fiction, is another time, space, whatever. Apparently, it's happening in the year 23,742, which is pretty far removed from your current time on the Highroad of 10,400. You finally learned a little bit more about the name Amy and how it's short for amygdala, which has a strange irony to it, being that amygdala is the part of the brain that controls memory and Pius is an amnesiac.
Yep.
Jack Harkness, probably a pseudonym for Nick, also had written a book about their journey on the Highroad and included a lot of details about duck magic and these torment fragments as well. To what ends, purposes, what exactly is written in there, well, you're experiencing it, so. There was also noting that the names Wilfred Goldrudder and Considera Hakari are both attached to many books involving duck magic and time and space theory. Wilfred Goldrudder being as far as you can tell, the wizard that you prevented from becoming a lich earlier when you saved Neliel and that entire family. But Considera Hakari seems to be some type of tiefling name. No one's heard of this woman, so it seems a little odd that she got so important, and it might just be a she hasn't even been born yet situation. And there was a possible theory that Pius/Deuce came up with of why exactly whatever the experiment with the blue box went wrong, involving SCP-682 breaching containment. The last thing to note is that the theory was also posited by Pius and seems to have potentially put this dream to its end about how time and space may not be two separate concepts, but a single one seen from two perspectives. You also have experienced a bit more with the Torment Fragments, and that maybe even your own personal madnesses to some degree have been caused by them, as they can have repressed some of your memories, certain events you've lived through you can't quite remember properly. They also seem capable of not only altering the mind in that type of way and driving people mad, but also altering their bodies to cause creatures to become horrifying monsters, or in Pius's case, trying to eat Twilight. Which that, and of course, big part of what you learned happened just this last session. where we're catching up on the recap now. You had found some ancient ruins infested with goblins, clearly corrupted by madness as their eyes glowed purple. In addition to the large hoard of treasure you discovered there, Pius had finished his dream, but only after the Torment Fragments exploded with energy, revealing how Tempest came to acquire her own Torment Fragment. It seems to have taken place in one of her dreams, manifesting a physical object, where a shadowy figure, roughly 6 feet tall, androgynous with long curly hair and seemingly nuri, handed it to her, telling her that if she believes in herself and takes a chance on her dreams, she'll succeed. Of course, earlier in the day, Twilight had decided to rip open a tear that she had found in time-space and ran through it, with Pius and Twilight finding themselves in Neverwinter before a hideous monster in the distance, just outside of reality, began to tear through the entirety of the fabric of reality there. Now, as we're all beginning again, it's the morning, and as you're all awakening, Pius, you do make one more connection from this dream. From while discussing time-space, how you had presented that the connection between time and space may be that they are just two sides of the same coin, such as energy and matter even. You had suggested that maybe the missing connection in the equations is the stars, space, the cosmos. There's something important about that word, which is what triggers this thought. Because in this case, it's not a word, it's a name. Cosmos, the grand deity of creation. If the experiment kept going wild because the duck magic was missing its other side, its balance, and Cosmos is the other side, what entity could even be the balance to that? Could it be the entity that you've all been experiencing through these Torment Fragments? If that's really the answer itself. Admittedly, everything that happened doesn't seem to be weighing quite as heavy on all of you as you wake up and notice that the campfire is still burning. Like the one in the cave when you had found the candy house and all of that, the wood doesn't seem to be burning, and it seems to be almost perpetual at this point. The warm glow of it is calming and soothing. And having rested near it, all of you will be getting the added bonus of DCs on checks will be reduced by 1. That includes armor class for the enemies. Just for 1 day. So just until you sleep again, essentially.
Take it.
And yeah, so you're all getting up. You feel surprisingly relaxed given the day's events, and you can feel more of that old power and knowledge returning, or developing new skills in cases like Twilight's and Tempest's. So what are we doing?
So, you will also all have noticed that Wrath's scales and hide in general look a little thicker, more armor plated, as well as he has this more animalistic visage to him. To start the day, Wrath will wake up and pack up his things and then just kind of meditate while he's waiting on everyone to get all their stuff together. And you can see him just flexing his hands, and they go from his normal hands to these vicious-looking blue claws, and then back again.
Okay.
He has big, meaty claws.
And now all I can hear in my head is
It was me! I'm the hero!
Yeah, and if
Everybody always make fun of Zoidberg. That was my very first attempt at a Zoidberg impression.
I mean,
Pretty good.
especially for a first try, that was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is what Raph is doing while he's waiting on everyone to get up and out and about.
So, Pius, you wanted to start just kind of randomly eating through metal, though, right?
Yep.
So we will go ahead and start with that.
Did you turn into your Genasi form last night?
I feel like
Or no, because you had your dream, right?
yeah.
So you stayed yourself.
Yeah, because Jess mentioned last time that I hadn't changed, but I still dreamed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just I'm recalling in my brain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sorry to take away that autonomy of whether you changed or not, but I wanted to make sure that specific point was seen, that the dreams don't seem to be related to that.
No, that's fine.
So,
I can still use that for tasting things. So
yep.
And yep. Okay. Yep, I'm eating all the metal.
All right, the first thing I want you to do is roll a d6. Because there is so much metal, you are going to hit that first marker for effects easily.
Where's my D6?
May I warm up the metal?
You don't think that would be a good use of heat metal in a spell slot this early in the day?
No.
You could.
I mean, I thought it would be kind of cool to, give him something warm.
I got a 4 on that D6.
All right. Go ahead and roll a D8 next. And then also a D100.
Okay, that's a 3 on the D8. And then 16 on the D100.
So, as you finish consuming just like one more of those short swords, you're about halfway through it, and your body kind of starts to lock up, and you feel a pressure in your gut that, thanks to Deuce, is the feeling of constipation. And you can't really move or anything as this happens in this moment. And for about a minute, everyone throughout this can hear essentially a tea kettle whistling. And after about a minute, a flap opens up in your behind, and just out drops a flail that seems slightly warm to the touch. And slightly magical as well. But as soon as it finishes coming out, your body unlocks and that feeling of constipation goes away.
Well, that was quite interesting. I have produced a weapon.
I can't unsee this.
Yeah, you all go out there trying to figure out what the heck's going on with tea whistles, and you literally watch Pius poop for the first time in his life, possibly. At least in his memory.
It's so big!
Hey, that's impressive.
Captain burned my eyes.
It's burning me eyes too.
Thought I was going to die there for a second.
I want to die and no one's taking me seriously.
It's a flail!
Yeah, and
What was-
you can all tell that it's slightly magical, and that it has been assigned flail at birth.
He picks it up and kind of cradles it like a baby.
Ah, my firstborn.
Just know I am not watching it.
You do not want to hold my baby for me?
Congratulations, I suppose.
I'll take a look at it. And I'll sit down and cast Identify on the flail.
Make sure to hold his head.
Which one came out first, the ball or the handle?
The handle. So especially at first, it just looks like a glowing hot turd as it was coming out.
Wes, did you just shit?
I believe so. I've never done it before, but Deuce is telling me that I had quite the log come out. I'm not sure what that means because there is no wood.
Yeah, it is pure metal, despite the fact that a lot of flails typically have a wooden handle, at least a portion of it. This one is pure wood, and there's hints of gold, there's hints of silver, and it looks like it's made out of various metals that have all been kind of compiled together. But as soon as you take the time to go ahead and identify it, it is a Hellfire Flail.
Holy shit!
It's not as cool as the name implies. Basically, anytime you have it drawn and uncovered, it sheds dim light out to 5 feet. And any humanoid that is killed by an attack with it has their soul immediately sent to hell, where it's reborn as a Lemur demon. Lemur? Lemur?
Lemur.
Yeah. So
What?
basically, it damns your foes to hell, regardless of what they were in life.
Jess, you can't say it's not as cool as it sounds and then end the sentence with it damns your enemies to hell. That's not how a sentence works.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's called contradicting arguments.
Okay, I guess it is as cool as it sounds. It sounded cooler to me than that. I was thinking, raining fire and brimstone when I read the name the first time.
That would be cool. But so is this.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool aesthetically. Like, visually, that's much cooler because I can, like, see that happen. But knowing that I'm sending somebody to hell, damn. Okay. Yeah. This flail is pretty messed up. Very cool. But I would only use it on people you really don't like.
Huh.
It will, when you kill somebody with it, it will send their soul straight to hell.
So what you are saying is he is already in his terrible twos.
Fuck you, bud.
No, it's just terrible threes. They're the worst. Threes are horrible.
Oh my god, every parent can relate.
I just fucking.
And I'm not a parent, but I know terrible threes are horrible than the terrible twos.
You made me spit up fucking spicy chicken nugget. I hate you so much right now. I was not ready.
I'm sorry. It hits my brain and I have to say it. I just can't not say things like that.
Anyway, yes.
I ain't babysitting
That's
it.
for something that
Hell no.
deserves a standing applause.
The hermit with his legs and hands and his whole body bag does applaud.
Pious bows. Thank you. Thank you. I will not take all of the credit.
Oh, that's right. You have your body back. What's your plan?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, Jessica had wanted me to come along with you in case you needed help. Not that you necessarily need it. You do all notice he is standing there, like, cradling the dodecahedron of doom, just because of its size and not really having a bag to put it in. But he's continuing speaking. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to actually come with you. At the very least, I might learn how to be a better person and make friends and come out of the whole experience maybe not a dirty old man who lives in a cave.
Beginning to grow on me, old man.
Well, thank you, Pius.
Wrath reaches up to his shoulder and kind of strokes the side of his little pseudo-dragon. And in Draconic, he's going to say, keep an eye on him for me.
The dragon basically sends you an image of, like, him standing and saluting, which is something you're pretty sure he's never done, so he can just make up images to send you.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, so what's the party consensus then on letting the hermit come with? You know he's going to get into shenanigans without all of you. It's just what consequences they may have.
He's gonna do what?
Get into shenanigans.
I'm fine with them tagging along.
Worst case, he becomes a distraction.
Or bait.
I could be a meat shield, technically. I'd rather not, though. But worst case scenario, you know?
Of course.
I like his enthusiasm.
Captain
Really how?
would say, Twilight, what say you?
I can hear you. There, you are talking. Just
Okay, yeah, I literally just checked. Okay.
But Star and Captain Flowers seem to either be distracted because of their own lives or accidentally muted.
Yarr, can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
There he is.
Yarr! It's like your mouth was moving, but nothing was coming out.
Yeah, and I had you guys turned way down low, so I didn't hear. I honestly don't mind the rumor coming along. I don't know how useful he can be in combat, but we'll give it a whirl.
I don't expect he'll fight much.
Yes, I think I'll stand back unless I notice you absolutely need my help or you ask for it, because I also don't want to intrude on your journey.
How good are you with weapons?
So you do recall that last night during the sorting of the loot, he was able to throw a dagger with like 99% precision through a small hole. He seems to be incredibly talented, but what he ends up saying is, well, I've really never been good at much of anything. I'm not good with weapons. I'm not good at thievery. I'm not great. I'm a pretty terrible person.
I just handed him my light crossbow and say, trusting you with this, bro.
All of you also remember him saying that, like, things like armor, weapons, things that he may just, like, take into use of his own volition at whatever time, it kind of borders into that him owning it territory, and it may cause him his magical rags to stop working. So he seems very hesitant about taking this item. And without words, it's kind of just like, no thank you. He's carrying the dodecahedron mostly just to keep it safe.
I just shove it back into my bag and I say, okay, it's your funeral, bud. Let's go.
I'm not sure you can die.
That's true. Should we test the theory?
I think we already have, right? So we
And if
kind
we
of carried
survive,
his
we can come.
head around for quite a while.
And then last time he was tried to be killed, it said immortal over him. So I think
Pius, during this conversation, are you still picking up those short swords and scimitars and eating them?
No, after the shit, I'm done.
No distracted eating, like listening and just...
No.
Oh.
Yeah, went over the numbers of kind of how many times it could happen, but that was how many times it could happen, so there was no obligation.
Well, if everyone's rested, we can't remain here for too long, although we do still have quite a good amount of time to get to the end of this road. Should we head off?
Yeah, let's go.
Make one quick pass, just to make sure nobody leaves anything. Yeah.
Alrighty. Dun dun dun. Is anyone doing anything specific while traveling down the road?
Keeping an eye out for penguins.
Keeping an eye out for penguins. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Sure.
Oh, I forgot to note. Captain Flowers finished the design on the gun and was able to hand those blueprints over to Tempest. And Nick, you are working on that next spell. Did you decide which one you wanted to work on next?
not at the moment. I'll let you know as soon as I remember what I decided.
So wait, you're not working on a spell right now?
I'm always working on a spell.
Yeah, we'll assume you're working on a spell, and go ahead and just come back to all the stats on that later when you remember which one. If anything, we'll just do the rolls off stream and then state the outcome of it on stream. Just to make sure we don't forget again.
I would actually like to give Nick my spell notes and my blueprints. I find them kind of useless for me.
They are pretty useless for you. You said the notes and the blueprints?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one blank blueprint and 67 pages of spell notes. So, that is all up to you choosing to put that in your inventory there, Nick. Or if you want to politely decline, hide it, and throw it away. All up to you there, Nick.
Nope, all notes are valid notes. I will take them and sort through them.
And the blueprint?
Yeah, I'll take the blueprint too.
I mean, if you don't want them and you want to throw them away, please give them back, honestly.
Nick is a hoarder when it comes to paperwork and knowledge. He will take all. It doesn't matter if it's in his wheelhouse or not. If it is offered, he will accept it.
All right.
Well, plus side, it doesn't take you long going through the notes to realize that about half of them are just about the Wither and Bloom modified spell that was in the spell book. The other half seem to be in relation to a lich ritual that looks like it was deconstructing one that you've seen in a book that should not exist.
Yep.
It does look like he didn't have access to that spell, though. Which, by the end of this day, you'll probably get through the journal enough to have actually read those entries as well.
Fair.
Which pretty clearly state for everyone watching that Wilfred had been sent out to investigate and search Acrid's domain after Nick and Pius had defeated him. And amongst it, he had found references to a spell, but couldn't find the spell. And that is because that ended up being on Nick's person instead. But from the notes he found, he began trying to reverse engineer this spell that could take Licham to the next step, even beyond what already exists.
I will probably spend some time on those notes, though.
All right, we can say you were going through all those for the day.
Wrath is... He has his staff, and he's holding it in front of him during the walk, instead of using it as he normally would for, like, a walking stick. And you can see just, he's channeling his magic, like, into himself, and then into the staff, and trying to get it back out. More or less, he's trying to, like, magically sonar how this staff is enchanted. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, more or less. You can go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay. 13.
13. You can tell that it seems to have mostly been pumped with literally just lightning magic as a whole, and that they reinforced it with some other magical materials. As to a lot of the specific details, falls a little short on being able to really feel it out. But you do get a better feel for how the magic itself works through the staff.
Right, and that's more or less, he's still not technical with his knowledge. He's just trying to, like, there's a tuning to an item, and then there's, like, a tuning to it, I guess, is his, like, theory in his head. Like, if he can
the big thing
feel the item, essentially.
The big thing you can tell from it is that form of attunement, as you're actually, like, really critically thinking about it, seems to almost create a tether between the energy of the staff and your own soul, your own body. That even when you release the staff, that tether kind of still exists.
Yeah, that's what he's focusing on, as we will.
Captain Flowers, as for that perception, that's a nice boulder. That's a really nice boulder.
I like the look of this boulder.
Which happens a couple hours into your travels, and Wrath, you notice the boulder too, just kind of passively. Everyone notices this boulder. It's a good, like, 10 feet tall. It's a huge boulder. It is a nice boulder.
That's not a boulder. That's a rock. A rock. Sorry.
But Wrath, you do notice a bunch of little rocks around it. If I remember correctly, the rock you were looking for was like that magic enchanting one, though. The one used as an enchanting material.
Yeah, you definitely keep an eye out for that.
You do notice that amongst all the rock, there does seem to be a one that stands out a bit, and you can take just a couple of minutes to collect 10 gold pieces worth of tetracite.
A moment, everyone. Short break. He'll go over and start collecting Tetris.
I want to lick the boulder.
10 gold pieces worth, you said?
Yes, 10 gold pieces worth.
So yeah, he'll collect that up and just kind of look at it, turn it around in his hands for a few moments. He kind of already knows what this is from his earlier reading.
Yeah.
So he'll put it in his bag of holding.
And Nick, you would recognize it as well. You know that there was at the wizard colleges you'd been to, usually in the enchanting department, they had a pretty big stockpile of this stuff.
Yeah. But I would know how rare it would be around here. Like,
it's fairly rare everywhere. No one's really sure how it is created, but when it's found, it's kind of like finding a gold vein in the mountains. Typically, it looks like this little bit here, though, was dragged by the boulder from somewhere else.
okay. Yeah. Feel like there might be a vein of that nearby. I'm not an enchanter, so I don't really know the properties of it. I never worked with it very closely myself. I know of it.
Mm.
But I know the enchanters like to have a lot of it around. We could take a sidetrack and see if we can track the rest of this down. It could be worth a pretty penny, if at least the information of where it is.
That's true.
I'm okay with that, but I want to lick the boulder first.
You lick the boulder. It tastes like boulder. And it has been snowing along your journey. It was snowing as you exited the building. It's hard to say exactly how deep it is, but you have stopped being able to see a lot of the bushes and the smaller plants. It seems to be very thick by this point, and it feels almost like you're not just walking uphill from the elevation change as well, but the snow itself seems to be piling up enough that you're making like slow increases in elevation as well.
Looking around, can we tell, did this boulder roll here, or did it fall here?
It seems to have. It seems to have fallen from the sky. There's no path where it rolled through the snow.
It might be a little difficult, Nick. Do you have any magic that could help us find the source of this?
No.
Anybody? Does anybody have any ideas?
I'm still thinking.
No. Let me double check my list just
That
to
is
make
not my fault.
sure. No, I could make sure there's no more in it.
I mean, that might be worth the try, right?
Okay.
You do notice that the hermit has kind of started to hum a tune, and he ends up saying something silly and almost songy. Oh where could this magic rock be? As if he's like testing the waters to see if he can produce magic the way he did when he teleported.
I like it. That's a very sorcerer thing to do.
But he does not have locate object, so.
Yeah, I'll fish it back out of the bag of holding if you'd like to, Nick.
Well, I have gonna do that a bit different way. I don't need that.
Oh, okay.
And I'll like tap the top of the rock with a single finger, and I'll cast Shatter on the rock.
Kerblam! How close was everyone to this rock, this boulder? Because it was like 10 feet tall.
My tongue was on it.
I'm still standing over wherever that tetrasite was.
If
Right
it's 10
next to
feet
the
tall,
boulder.
if it's 10 feet tall, it's just gonna do the whole boulder.
Yeah, it's a
'Cause
10
it's a 10-foot area.
It's mostly the force coming from like the center of it, forcing it all outwards. It's more of a shrapnel issue.
Sure, Just making sure we're clear on the fact that technically I didn't hit anybody with my spell.
Yes, so that would be Nick, Wrath, Twilight. The three of you need to roll dexterity saves.
Okay.
All according to
Oh no!
Rutro. Rutro Raggy.
I rolled so low.
I rolled worse.
I don't know about that.
Okay, did we just get 2 nat ones?
No.
I did. I got a nat one.
I got a 4 for 9.
Shatter is a 2nd level spell, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep, that's one of my 3 for today.
What's the normal damage on it?
It is. Give me a moment.
3d8.
3d8 thunder damage.
So the two of you both failed and take 21 bludgeoning damage as you get pelted with large chunks of rocks. Twilight, you don't feel like that's that great of a roll, so you have an opportunity to use lucky.
Did I do that right? 1d20 plus 6?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Sorry, you guys. My brain is just out of it. So I'm going to do lucky. That didn't help.
No, that
it
did
was
not.
worse in the beginning.
Yeah, they're both not such good rolls, and you notice that despite the two of you not really being able to get out of the way, like Nick, you started backing off, but like reactionally just like spread eagle, right facing it. Wrath, you kind of just reacted too slowly to notice before you started getting pelted, but Twilight just kind of falls on her ass as she's being pelted. So Twilight, you also take 21 bludgeoning damage.
Oh shit, Nick!
My bad.
It went boom.
That does mean we need some additional rolls, though. Because all three of you took more than half your health in a single shot.
I did not.
No, you didn't.
I did not.
You're right. You're right. Neither did Twilight. I misread what I was doing there. Nick definitely did, though.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
So you need to make a Constitution save for massive damage.
17.
17, you're good. You passed the massive damage, so you're not knocked unconscious or anything from it. You did take a pretty serious blow to the head. It does not feel good.
Yeah, if you would have asked me to just stand there and take it, I would have done that better than trying to dodge it.
Oh, shit. Ugh. I look through the, I'm assuming, cloud of dust now in the air here and see if I see any more tetrasite or similar compounds.
All right. Is anyone trying to help look for this specific rock in that?
Yeah, I'll help.
I can try to attempt to help, but my ass is kind of sore, so I'm going to be walking funny.
Wrath, you have advantage then on an investigation check.
Thank God. $11.
11.
Yeah.
You find a little bit more, not a ton as you're looking though, and you find another 11 gold worth.
Oh, okay.
Which, for as much as it may sound at 21 gold worth, just in like creating your own magic items, even being at half cost, to like make a rare, you need 1,000 gold worth of materials. So it's not actually that much in the grand scheme of things.
That's okay. I will put this to good use. Well, I think that's a little bit of a dead end. Wrath is kind of holding his head a little bit, his ears still ringing.
You all kind of hear behind you, not terribly far, but like more out where some of the bigger chunks landed and the smaller chunks. And the hermit just, is this what you're looking for? And he pulls up a singular chunk about twice as big as the collective smaller pieces you had just found. Another 23 gold pieces worth. And he didn't seem to be looking, like he just like noticed it and picked it up.
Well, yes, it actually is. Do you mind?
Yes, of course, it's yours. I don't want it. I don't want to own anything, really. At least not at the moment.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh. All right. Anyone else? Everyone good?
I kind of want to do detect magic.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and do that if you'd like. You do know that this is a magic rock. Burn the spell slot. Come on, stop fighting out. As you cast it and you kind of start focusing around all the rocks, you do start to feel more magic on it. And you're able to sift through the pieces following that magic trail during that like 10-minute period. And you manage to collect another 2d100 worth.
Yo.
For 154 gold more of tetrasite.
Twilight, those eyes of yours are very keen.
Better to see them. Better to see you all, my dears.
You also notice, though, as you're doing this, because this is the first time you've used Detect Magic near the Hermit, he seems to be a hole. There's nothing there. No life energy, not even what you would feel off a rock. It's just like a hole in existence where he stands.
Like he's standing in a hole, or he's like
he is a hole. There's no energy of any kind coming from him. Not even the most basic life energy, not the energy that would come off an undead, not even the energy that would come off of a rock. There is no energy coming off of him at all.
Guys,
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
we have a problem with this hermit.
How do you mean?
He does seem distracted with some butterflies at the moment, by the way.
Me?
No, the hermit. The hermit is distracted by some butterflies. So he doesn't notice your conversation.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell the party about the whole thing. It's like, guys, this hermit has, like, basically no energy. It's like he's a hole. Like,
He could very well be a vessel.
A vessel for what, though?
That is what I am scared of.
the vessel. He is our vessel for
Nick, passively enough with researching magic, because you know it has connections to a lot of other things, you would be aware that divine energy, like the energy of gods, can't be detected with things like detect magic. Because it's just an inherently different type of energy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna screw up the name, but the purple things, the Blacktold?
Torment Fragment.
Fragment, thank you. Sorry, I'm losing my cat. So very emotional.
You're good.
So I think that Torment Fragment, he is our solution.
You think he's our solution?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that the Torment Fragments and our little hermit are really are connected.
I don't doubt they're connected. I'm not sure he's the solution to the fragment. So, what do you propose we do? Like, if he is the solution, how do you propose we go about doing that?
As you're asking this question, you can all kind of still see the hermit. He's only like 15, 20 feet away, still not paying attention, playing with the butterflies. But there seem to be hundreds of butterflies around him right now, and he's giggling and he's playing with them, and they're landing on him, and a bit too abnormal for butterflies.
He is a harbinger of darkness.
What did Tempest say?
She said he's the harbinger of darkness.
Anyone with butterflies like that.
As he's being completely adorable and cute and giggling while playing with this innocent animal. Harbinger of darkness.
Wait now, Tempest. Hold your horses.
But I don't have any horses to hold.
It's true, we've been on foot for quite a while.
Right.
Think of it. Has anyone seen the hermit touch a torment fragment?
No. And I think that's our connection.
I am curious.
Not the big one, please.
No, just a small one. And Pius takes the one out of his neck.
And to distract the hermit even more, I'm going to use my wand of insects, and I'm going to perform more butterflies.
He's swarmed by thousands upon thousands of butterflies now, and he's full blown laughing because they're tickling his skin.
No, wait. I'm gonna transform him into ladybugs. Ladybugs and butterflies.
Still completely laughing, just being tickled too much by them little legs.
They're my little legs.
Yeah, he's distracted.
Pius is going to walk up to the hermit.
He does notice you and turns around just,
Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Are we ready to leave? Do you need me for anything?
Really, I do. Kind of an experiment. If you are willing, I will not do it against your will.
I'm happy to help, unless you think it's somehow going to end my immortality. If you think there's a chance of that, I'd rather not. But otherwise, yes, I'll help.
Well, we don't really know if it will or not. I'm just curious. And then he holds out the Torment Fragment. Would you mind touching this for me?
He seems extremely hesitant. Like, the moment he sees it, he's just, like, overcome with a panic internally, but he seems to be keeping it under control. And with an extremely shaky hand, he starts reaching towards it.
Now, before you touch it, remember, you do not have to. I will not force you.
Well, I'm scared, but I'm scared of most things. If I had let my fear control me before, I would have never met any of you. So, I'm just overcoming myself. I actually kind of feel like I do need to do this.
And as he's finishing saying it, he puts his hand on it. And you have a realization that even though you like grabbed it, were willfully holding it in your hand, it didn't have any effect on you at that moment. And then you stop feeling it in your hand as if it's just gone.
What is the hermit having a reaction at all?
He doesn't seem to be reacting all that much. Like, he seems to start calming down when he realizes, like, nothing's happening. But you can all see he seems to almost get a few years younger.
Quick question.
Interesting.
Am I still seeing all of this? Like, do I see anything abnormal?
Everyone can see what's happening and hear it, too. And you don't notice any, like, glowing light or anything like that. None of you can, like, see the Torment Fragment, but as he's pulling away his hand, Pius, you're looking down at it. Everyone else is seeing your back. And you notice that the fragment is gone from your hand, and he's not holding it.
Oh, well, that wasn't all that bad, actually. I was expecting a lot worse.
Did you take it?
No.
And he puts his hands up. And you can see he's not holding anything, and there's definitely nowhere to put it in his clothes.
Interesting.
Did you drop it? Should I help you find it?
Yes, your Detect Magic is still on at the moment. You know it's going to be active for maybe another 30 seconds. And there don't seem to be any changes in his lack of magic.
Turns to the group and asks, what do you all make of this?
I say we use the big one.
The hermit does seem to be distracted again. And you notice a spectral hand kind of form in front of him that he starts using to, like, play with the butterflies and ladybugs.
That'd be a strange way to see mage hand used.
He is not of this.
So there's like another hand that's kind of like it.
He basically conjured a hand made out of magic. And now he's using it to play with the butterflies and ladybugs. Which is odd, because as far as you know, he legitimately does not know how to use his own magic. But he seems to have suddenly figured out at least one spell.
Oh my goodness.
Give him all of the Torment Fragments.
Give them all of them.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa. Let's not go jumping ahead here. I think let's sit with one for right now and see how this does. Just because we're not seeing a negative effect doesn't mean there isn't one.
That is a fair point.
Think of it like, if we feed him too much, he might shit a weapon. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's...
Hey, if he shits a weapon, you know how badass that would be?
I don't need to see that again.
It would be a lot more horrifying if an old man did it than a robot. Just saying.
I mean, think about it. I mean, this could be like a ultimate legendary weapon and shit.
And shit. That's the issue. It's the and shit that gets me.
It's the and part.
If it's not clean.
Well,
That could be solved. Pius could clean it.
That's not
It
you're
can shine the damn thing up for us.
you're missing the point here. We don't know what it would do. Let's slow down before we just start feeding all of the dangerous rocks into one person.
So Nick, you notice all of you didn't really notice him move, but he did end up moving like right up next to Nick, and he kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder, and you feel it when it happens, and you feel a massive rush of positive energy through your body as all of your wounds heal.
Oh, sorry for touching you. I felt like I knew how to heal people, and it looks like I do, because that mark on your forehead is gone.
So I'm back to full.
Yes, you are back to full. He just rolled 30 healing on his cure wounds.
Okay. That doesn't prove me wrong. I'm stand by my word. That was awesome, thank you. But that doesn't mean that it was a good thing.
Pius
Hold on,
just
wrong
stands
about
there
what?
like,
What are we talking about, anyways?
Well, I mean, I can take you back down to your old health and see, and you could rethink that decision.
If you threaten me
I have
again,
no
you will
problem
regret it.
punching you in the face.
Hey,
You will have a problem punching me in the face if you try.
Yeah, it might hurt my hand, but I mean,
he's gonna put
No,
her back in the box again.
It will hurt your entire body because I will rip you in half.
I was just thinking the box, but ripping in that first too.
I was
We
just
should
gonna
all
put her in a
calm
box
down.
We're getting.
I think we're getting a little carried away. Yes, as Tempest said.
We are
My
all
only point
friends.
is to exercise caution with this. We have messed with these and played with these, and every time it's fucked something up real bad. Let's not, just because we might have found a place to put them, let's not jump to a conclusion that this right now is good.
You do
That's
notice
my
that
only
the hermit who had been standing right there, you seem to have lost track of him again, but you spot him again about this time, and he seems to be over on the side petting a small cat.
Cat come from?
He has a kitty. I dive over.
As you dive
Harbinger of evil.
as you dive towards it, the cat kind of panics and bolts straight towards Twilight and starts to hide behind her legs.
Twilight, I will break your legs. Let me touch the cat.
detect magic on the cat.
Oh, cool. While she does that, I'm breaking her legs.
There doesn't seem to be any magic on this cat, and as you're finishing that detect magic and using it, you notice the spell finally fades. It lasted longer than it should have for some reason. But no, the cat seems to be perfectly normal, just a cat.
I have a way to actually communicate with animal tongue.
Yep.
Speak with animals.
Yes, you do. You can cast the spell Speak with Animals.
Yeah, I can. I'll cast it.
What do you say to said kitty?
Run.
Run? You tell the
Run.
cat to run.
Get the hell out of here, my friend will kill you.
Basically what you get back is, but I trust you. You'll protect me. I know it. It seems to have grown very attached to you very quickly.
Can I have the cat, please?
That's up to you, as long as you'll feed it and clean up after. I guess you don't have
Well,
to
I mean,
do
are
much
you guys
cleaning.
gonna kill it?
No, why would we kill a cat?
Why would we kill a talking cat?
Talking.
I love how
What?
apparently Tempest understood the cat, despite the fact it was just meowing. Twilight understood it because of the speak with animals.
I'm translating. I could
Hi.
theoretically in my own head speak cat.
Pious. Pious.
Yeah.
That's not pious.
I've taken over a complete Okay, sorry.
As long as it's not Gore, I think we're good.
Oh god.
Because Gore
please.
would try to eat the cat.
Is Robot Gore as terrifying as I think it sounds?
It cuts out too much for it to be.
Yeah,
Okay.
it cuts out too
Yeah.
much.
Whoops.
It would be there though. Like
Yeah,
it's
oh, yeah.
the like hint of it is there.
Yeah,
But if, as soon as you get into the higher range, have
Yes.
you checked good and evil? I've seen you do it before. I don't know if you can still do it.
Let me check my brain
So I'm
real
confused
quick.
what's going on. What's happening?
They're trying to detect good and evil just to make sure the cat's not evil. Or a demon or something
I'm
like
just-
that, basically.
It's a feature.
Well,
There's-
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it should be a class feature.
I know the
Yeah, I just
Paladin
don't know.
gets something like that, but I'm not sure if Grave Cleric does.
I think they get protection. I don't know if they get
Yes.
The
protect.
grave, there it is. First level, you gain the ability to occasionally sense the presence of the undead. So I could
Undead.
tell if he was undead. But
Twilight, you could tell just from the detect magic, from the focusing on it, it's not undead. It's not a demon. It's not an aberration. It's some pretty natural form of life, non-magical animal or something.
Well, the last time she got a pet, it turned into an evil thing. So
Right.
Because of the Torment Fragment.
Yeah, but that was my fault, though.
That was the Torment Fragments. Maybe not so much Pius's fault.
Well, I failed the check, though.
And I meant to do that in the Hermit's voice. That was supposed to be the Hermit in character. Well, that was the Torment Fragments, not really Pius. Pius could have been better at catching, or Twilight could have been better at throwing. Maybe it was the wind speed at the moment. I don't think anyone here is to blame for it.
I didn't blame anybody. I just said it happened. Just to be clear, not blaming, just saying it happened. And it happened the last time she had a pet. I don't want another demon like that.
So, in which case, Twilight, do you promise to make sure that it stays away from all torment fragments in the future?
Yeah, because we're gonna give all the Torment Fragments to the Hermit. Yay! I win!
Wait, what? We're doing what now?
Not quite. I think the cat's fine, honestly.
I'm also really scared to pull out the big one. By the way,
Yeah, I don't
Wait,
do that.
before you guys pull out that one, I'm gonna, maybe do mold earth and put the cat in a 5-foot hole just so it's safe.
What?
Or wait,
yeah. The last time I did anything with it, it almost it tried to suck everybody into a pocket dimension. So
Right. Let's
it's
just
gonna be
avoid.
there.
Yeah, let's avoid using it for now.
It's gonna live there forever.
You do know that there were extenuating circumstances with the Torment Fragments going crazy and such as well. So how much of that was just that specific one or the wrist pocket spell? You're not really sure, though.
Also,
Yeah,
how much of
and
it
right now-
was we just don't want to deal with it no matter what happens.
Shut non-believer!
I think we should approach this the same way I've approached everything we do with the Torment Fragments. And it's slowly and methodically and trying to learn as much as we can before we commit to doing anything with them. That's
agree.
it.
So let's press on. And I mean, I think we're done with the boulder, right?
There isn't one anymore, but yes. Oh, speaking of which, do you mind if I get that tetrasite that you found?
Well, I was going to actually maybe trade it in to Patches for maybe like a cat carrier thing, like a little satchel for my cat. So we're clear.
I'll make a deal with you. I'll pay you in gold what it's worth. That way you can just use the gold to buy your pet carrier.
I'm okay with that. Are you? As long as you guys are okay with it. Yeah, I want to talk to Patches to make sure that the cat is going to be safe.
So that was 154 gold worth?
Yes, 154 gold worth.
So yeah, Wrath gives you the gold in exchange for the tetrasite.
And you do notice, just because you were talking about buying things from Patches, he does just form up. Oh, what can I get for you this time, Twilight?
So apparently have a pet. So I was wondering if we can... Okay, here's the situation. Last time when I had a pet, it got destroyed. So this time I found a pet, and I was wondering if there was a way I could keep it safe, whether not in a cage, but more like in a
maybe a backpack.
No, more like a pouch.
He reaches behind and he pulls up what almost looks like a baby carrier, like one of those ones you'd strap to your front to put your baby on, but it looks like it's been slightly modified, more like for a cat, possibly.
Yeah, that's perfect. I want that.
And he says it'll be 154 gold.
Okay, there you go.
Almost as if he knew exactly how much money was going around.
He's a leech.
That's creepy.
So of course you reach your hands out and you get it, and you can tell that it's magical too. It's not just like straps of leather and cloth. It does seem magical, and like it might have actually been worth that much gold in raw financial value, not emotional value, of course. But Wrath, as this, you can tell it's magical, so it might actually be worth 154 gold just based on what it is magically. Probably still worth a lot more to you just emotionally.
No. I don't dare put my cat in a magical item. Can it just be like leather and cloth? Something like, that it's not magical and making it explode just in case?
We'll come back to his reply in just a second here. Wrath, you feel a slight tug in your coin pouch as she actually takes the item, though. When the money should be coming out of her coin pouch, you feel a slight tug on yours. Or coming out of her hand. You see the money because she was still holding it does dissipate over towards him.
Interesting.
Go ahead and add 154 gold to your pouch.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
And then Patches...
The money he gave me goes back to him?
Yes, it just went straight back to him. You don't know this. Wrath would be the only one who might notice, because he's so meticulous with his money in particular. But when you say you want something non-magical, Patches does reply. He's like, I assure you, I gave you that one because I may not care what happens to all of you, but that poor cat does not deserve to be hurt. So I made sure to give you one that would protect it. At least to the best of my abilities on what I could give.
I think this is one of the rare instances I'd say you can trust him.
I want to roll perception.
It would be insight to figure out his motives.
Yeah, insight. I was wanting to do the perception because I wanted to see if he was lying, but insight would work too.
Well, insight is how you would tell if someone's lying. Perception is just like seeing, hearing, that sort of thing. Insight is conclusions and motives and that sort of stuff.
Perception of the soul.
Yeah.
So it's insight.
Yeah, from what he was saying and the way he was acting, he legitimately does not seem to care about any of you as people, but he does seem to care about the cat, and he actually side-eyes the pseudo-dragon at the same time. As if he cares... You think he actually does care about animals, but he hates people.
Him and I should be married.
You say this out loud, and he just... You hear a snap, and he's gone. He did not seem to like that idea.
But we're so compatible.
Twilight, no. Just no.
Alright. I guess I put the cute little kitten in the little buggy thingy and snap it on me and call it good.
Yep, as you're strapping it on and everything, you notice that you'd be able to adjust it and use it like a leash and a cat vest to keep the leash attached as well. You could throw it on your front, you can throw it on your back, you can even shift it and turn it into like a purse like someone in LA may carry their little chihuahua.
Like Paris Hilton. Out of game. Alright. I guess I asked the cat if it wants to walk, be carried, or be put in the purse.
It wants to walk right now.
On a leash?
It's fine with the leash.
Alright.
Yes, you got a +1 pet carrier. While wearing it basically acts as armor and gives it a +1 AC.
Oh shit. So my cat is actually, he's armored.
Slightly, yes. Still has really low AC, but it's protection versus nothing.
Mm-hmm.
How big is this cat? It's like a house cat or
It's
like
a house cat.
A Maine Coon or
It's a house cat. And I'll let you choose like how exactly it looks, but yeah, it's a house cat.
it's pink.
For whatever reason, yes, it's pink.
Well, with that settled, I think we maybe continue. Everyone?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, the rest of your day goes pretty uneventfully.
So out of game, I want to know what happened with Nick's coins. I'm kind of curious.
You mean rats?
Raph, sorry.
Yeah, you paid and he got them back. Basically, it was just Patches being a good fellow.
So basically, Patches gave me a thing for free.
Yeah, pretty much. He gave you a thing for free and gave Wrath back his money for it.
But I lost the item.
The material, yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, both of you made out on that. Wrath got 154 gold worth of tetrasite, and you got a +1 pet carrier. Yeah, so you make about 32 miles over an 8-hour period while you're traveling. Well, it's been about 8.5 because you spent almost a half an hour around the boulder. It's only about 5:30. The sun has definitely begun to set. It set a while ago. And you figure it's probably dropped anywhere from 6 to 10 more inches of snow.
It's gonna be rough going from here.
We can do it!
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, at this point, you really can't see any bushes. You'd say it might be piled up about 3 feet at this point.
Pius would try to stand anywhere where the wind is blowing to try and make sure that nobody is getting like really cold wind hitting them, if possible.
Be like a windbreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as you're traveling, you definitely can't do it for like everybody. You can kind of like move it from person to person and kind of give them a little bit of respite from the wind as you're all walking along.
Yeah, and he's using his shield too. To help like make himself wider in a way.
Speaking of shield, is there a possible way to put the cat carrier on the shield that I have?
There's not really a way to attach it, no.
Nick's actually going to cast Alter Self.
Okay.
On himself, and I'm just going to use the change appearance aspect. And I am going to make myself like thicker, like Pius's size, but like a Yeti almost. Like I'm big and hairy now, and like, and I'll join Pius in the front and be like help be a guard against the wind in the front lines.
Yeah, and it definitely helps having all that extra fur. The cold doesn't feel as biting or terrible after you do that. But yeah, you've made some decent progress, about 32 miles today, and you have the opportunity to either keep going or just bunker down for the night.
Can I? Go ahead. You can go.
I think we should keep going just a little bit.
Can I tell if this storm is, like the snowstorm, is going to break anytime soon?
But I can.
Yes, you remember that Twilight has Druidcraft and can actually magically tell the weather.
Do you think the snow's going to stop anytime soon, Twilight?
See, there's a rule for that, isn't there?
No, you don't have to roll. I just have to actually determine what the weather is to tell you.
Tell me the weather, weatherman!
Tomorrow's forecast is clear skies, bright and sunny with very few clouds. But the storm is probably going to hold up until about 2 a.m. So you've got another 8.5 hours of this storm.
Yeesh.
It's penguin weather.
It doesn't seem like it's going to get any worse, though. It's up to you how much you actually want to tell them, but
I can smell snow. Penguins love snow.
I'm gonna do it like a newscaster. Well, today's weather, folks, is going to be more heavy snow. But that's
Grr.
okay. It will end at 2 a.m. and tomorrow's forecast will be sunny. Ha 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 ha.
And you do know that it's going to drop during that roughly 8.5 hours. It should be dropping about another 16 inches of snow.
Grr. Penguins love to play hide and seek this soul.
That's true, but I think we'll have a hard time spotting them in it.
Possibly. But I have to keep an eye out. You never know with them sneaky bastards.
Maybe we camp for the night and set off again in clearer weather. I'm not sure pushing through this would be in our best interest. We still have plenty of time, as far as I can tell.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're only 19 days into the 365. You could easily keep track of the time that's been going so far.
What did you say, Twilight? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I think we should keep going just a little bit. Like,
It's fucking cold out here, and you can see Wrath does not like the cold.
Yeah, and from the Druid craft, you would get like an exact temperature. It is currently negative 17 Fahrenheit.
My cape is frozen stiff.
Yeah, luckily you all have like really nice warm winter clothes, but it is fucking cold.
I really don't think it's in our best interest to keep going. But if it's, I'll leave it up to the group. If everyone wants to, we can. And he'll go ahead and actually at this point change his cloak from the dragon wing to back to like a large bear cloak, bear skin cloak.
All right. With the magic and everything, you notice that its form hasn't really affected how much the weather is affecting you. But just the feeling of the fur itself is comforting with all the snow. Creating a placebo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there footprints around?
Go ahead and no, you don't have to roll. You don't see any footprints around other than all of your own, of course.
There's gotta be penguin footprints, though.
I just wanted to make sure that we're in like a safe spot rather to camp, you know?
You're right. That is a good idea.
None of you have noticed anything throughout the day, and you don't really see anything in the immediate area, at least.
Are you sure I just can't see them penguins?
Is there anything
Sniff
around
them
us?
penguins.
There are
Dig for the
trees.
penguins.
There are trees. The bushes, you can't see any of them. There is a pretty ton of snow. So either it's gotten too tall for the bushes, or the bushes were just smaller around here. The trees also are mostly pine at this point. They're still hybrid, but for the most part, they appear to be pines again.
Is there a cave nearby or anything?
Oh, well, we have shelter. If that's what you're concerned about.
I'm just wondering if there's a cave.
That's fair.
You can go ahead and roll a survival to try finding one or a sign of one.
I'm thinking it's 7.
Yeah, that's a total 14 for you there. You don't notice any signs of a cave, but the 14 is enough for you to realize in that sense of survival that Wrath's House of Cards is pretty much unaffected by natural weather, and it's nice and toasty inside, a nice comfortable temperature at all times.
Alright. I was just wondering if there's a cave, because cave means trolls or something like that, so Just curious.
Yeah, you don't see any signs of that.
Alright. Well, I guess let's hunker down. Before I do this, I think kind of want to scope out to see if there's any I don't think there is gonna be anything that gets me high.
You doubt you're going to find any. The plants are usually shorter than the bushes, so if there were any, they would be buried.
Very well then. And Wrath will take out his deck of cards and build them their little mini fort. This time, he's going to build a set of stairs that go up where the floor is elevated about 4 feet, we'll say. And as well as instead of the little cupboard, it is now a full room for the hermit.
Ooh. Ooh, thank you. I was expecting to just sleep on the ground, and I was perfectly happy with that. No complaints on either way, but thank you. I appreciate that.
You're part of the group now, I suppose, so. Nick, Captain, could I borrow both of you for a few moments?
Sure. Absolutely.
And he'll kind of lead them to the main area, and he'll start pulling out the just a few of the smaller chunks of tetracite. I'm not overly familiar with this, and before I start experimenting, I figured I'd ask from people more learned than me. Do you know much about the properties of this? How, for instance, how one could go about melting it into a liquid form, or anything that might be useful?
So, Captain Flowers, you definitely have experience. Artificers kind of center around the concept of using these various enchanting materials. And you know that if it's not just used as a ground dust, it would be mixed with purified water at a ratio of 2 Magus tetracite to 1 water.
Yeah, you know me that. I got a brains in me head. I know these things.
That's very useful. How does one go about melting it? How much heat, I guess, would be required? Do I need a forge, or Nick, do you think you could possibly create a fire hot enough to do this?
Captain Flowers, go ahead and roll a intelligence check with proficiency.
You got it.
Can I assist?
Yeah, you can go ahead and assist and kind of bounce ideas off of him. So you have advantage, Captain Flowers.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a pretty nat 20.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, with that 25, you do know the melting temperature. It's about 3.5 times the melting point of steel.
So we would need a forge then, or something extremely hot. I don't deal in fire. I don't know its language. Do you happen to have anything that hot, Nick?
I can try. I don't.
You pretty readily know that none of your spells are quite that hot. You can't even melt steel most of the time, let alone something with a melting point that high.
Yeah, I don't.
Theoretically, heat metal upcasted to its absolute maximum might be able to do it.
9th level heat metal?
I was thinking like up level burning hands, but yeah. Because that's what I've got right now.
How difficult do y'all think it would be to do this on the road?
Pretty difficult. Steel in a forge is quite expensive.
Normal forge. That can
Uh,
build steel. Iron.
Patches doesn't
We need a
appear this time, but you do feel the tingle because you're talking money.
Yeesh.
I'll go ahead and call him forth. Patches.
What, me? I wasn't listening.
Yeah. Patches,
Yeah.
are you there?
He forms up. Oh yes, Wrath. What can I do for you?
I'm wondering if I could trade a couple of questions, actually. One would be the easiest method would be to trade these, and I hold up some of the tetrasite, for a liquid form of it, maybe with some gold compensation. I don't know if the liquid form is more expensive or not, but if it is, I'd be willing to pay. Otherwise, I'm wondering if you have some kind of pocket forge?
He doesn't speak at first. He waits until he pulls it out, but he immediately begins speaking as he does. But you see him this time. He doesn't just like reach behind him like he has with everything else. Like he turns around and like sideways pulls this massive forge out and like seems to set it on a counter. So there's a command word. You speak it, and it'll shrink down into a little cube. That is going to run you 2,000 gold, though. It's
interesting.
I don't want to part with it, is the only reason I'm actually charging you this much. I'll be upfront about that. Typically, they cost a fair amount less.
That's perfectly understandable. Captain, I think you may also have use for this if we were to acquire it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Do you think you'd be willing to split the bill with me?
Well, considering I'd be helping out, of course I'd split the bill.
I'm more than willing to pitch in as well.
Oh, you would have use for it also, Nick?
If y'all have use for it, I have use for it.
Okay.
Do I hear this?
If you moved inside the house, then yes.
Yeah, even from the rooms, because they're not like perfectly soundproofed. If you were trying to listen at all, you'd hear the conversation going on.
I'll help too. I think it could be a use to us all.
Very well.
Especially with my jug of.
Your alchemy jug full of mayonnaise.
Yeah.
As soon as you say that, and she's kind of got her hand on it, you say it loud enough with a high inflection compared to the rest of the sentence, as you just did. And it just starts shooting mayonnaise.
Who?
Because of Wrath saying mayonnaise the way he did, close enough while you were touching it, your alchemy jug just started shooting mayonnaise.
Nice.
So that's twice now that mayonnaise has been flung into the air.
But if that's 4 of us, 2,000 divided by 4, that's 500 gold apiece if you're all willing to part with that. And I do appreciate the support in this.
Said 500 each?
It would be.
Yeah.
What about Tempest? Do you think she should be involved in this?
Also,
she's welcome to.
Yes.
I just sent you the new spell I want to work on.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at it and then I got distracted by the forge.
Oh, it's okay. It's just a reflavoring of chromatic.
Basically, you just changed the damage types on it, it looks like.
Yeah. And the component. I switched the component.
Nick's actually using components now?
Does chromatic
yeah.
orb normally use the material, or is it one
No.
of those that stays after?
It stays after.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about consuming it. And
But I need to buy one.
You would probably, because some of your higher level spells, actually no, a black diamond. Yeah, you probably don't have that.
Nope.
Yeah, a regular diamond, you would have one that would fit the bill probably, but black diamond, no.
Yeah. And then I did because it's intelligence check. That's what we decided, right? Or Arcana.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Arcana.
So I rolled it. I did only roll a 16, so I didn't complete it today.
Yeah, especially since you were looking through a whole bunch of other stuff, you really wouldn't have started working on it today specifically.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier to go ahead and do it, and then I was doing all of it while we were doing the other stuff. But yes, absolutely, I completely understand that. I was really hoping I would roll above a 20, because then it would just be done.
Yeah, you'll get it done like 3/4 of the way through tomorrow, basically. Well, if you spend like your 4 hours of downtime doing it now, it'll only take like another 2 hours. But you could have it done before everyone wakes up because you only sleep for 4.
Well, what I was going to say is, can I take a point of exhaustion and call it done?
I mean, you could do it without exhaustion. Like the normal 4 hours that kind of everyone has resting, you have that 4 hours, plus your 4 hours that you're not sleeping and everyone else is. So you have 8 hours and it's only going to take 6 to complete. So you could complete it by morning.
And I'm going to bother you for the other 2.
And then I had one more question. Just so I wanted to make sure, because the custom spell thing is kind of weird, and we're kind of Calvin balling it.
Yeah.
Do I need to buy? Because I know I have ink and paper still, but do I need to buy an additional spell scroll? So like this is me messing with chromatic. Like, which I'd
forgotten to talk to you about it. It's the gold costs wizards normally spend to research spells. You're paying half that in the materials for paper, ink, etc.
Okay, so treat it like it's a necromancy spell for me. So any spell I make is a necromancy spell, essentially.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Before you go, Patches, Captain, do you have all the tools we'll need to work this forge?
If my math is correct, it should be about 125 gold for everything, for the diamond and the.
That sounds correct. I put my DM's guide in a dumb place that I can't reach. I will be grabbing it during the break, which we will probably be taking shortly. So,
okay,
I can double check that.
All right, I'll do the 125 for right now, and if it's too much or too little, we'll. Well.
So we just need a yes or no about helping from people. Nick has said yes. Wrath is definitely helping. Captain Flowers, do you say yes to helping pay for the forge?
Hey.
And Twilight, do you say yes to helping?
Wait, didn't I already agree to that?
I'm just verifying that you are indeed agreeing. We could even say it's Patches literally verifying it in game. He just wants to make sure he understands correctly. It wouldn't do to take money from someone who doesn't agree to the deal, after all.
How much is it? 500?
Yes, it would be 500.
I'll do 499.
I'll put in the extra gold.
Alright.
I'll do the one so I contribute.
Very well. Again, though, Captain, do you have the tools we would need to work this forge, or should I'd be willing to go ahead and purchase those on my own.
No. Hold on. I'm sorry, you may have misunderstood this. The forge comes with every tool you could need for it as well. It's simply a part of the forge.
Oh, perfect then. Perfect. Hey. Does anyone need anything else while we have him?
Yes, I do.
Tempest, you can buy that gun now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gun. I'm like holding it in his face.
Good.
He tells you this first one will be free for one reason. You will be giving him those blueprints. That way he can create more of them.
Oh, fair. I won't even argue it. I got a gun.
But I worked on it.
Now
I
I
will.
will.
And this gun.
Right, I'll give you the exact stats on it because I got to pull up the firearms variant and actually pull that all up. I'll give you those when we come back from break. But essentially, it's just a real basic rifle. It's more stat wise, it's just a musket, with the exception of it loads easier than a musket does.
Sweet.
So it'll mostly have the stats of a musket, but each clip will be six bullets. And when he gives it to you, he literally only gives you one clip of 6 bullets for free. He expects you to buy the rest.
Cam, hurry up and copyright it so you can sue him.
There's no copyright system in this world at this time. There's no patent system, I should say. Copyright, technically, yes. Books and such, writing. But blueprints fall under patents, so they're not covered.
Oh! As a thank you, does Patches want a snack from the snack bag?
Oh, Patches will gladly take a snack from the snack bag. Which seems like it might be a little odd because he's not there and he's trying to reach into a physical magical bag. But you do actually see what he pulls out before it like transmits to him. And it only raises more questions. It seems to be a wriggling ball of ink and tentacles, about 6 inches in diameter.
Is that even edible?
You see him eat it in the projection.
It's edible.
Just because it moves.
Usually it's supposed to stop moving before you eat it, but okay.
No, hardly ever.
He seems to enjoy it.
I'm trying to go through all the Dark Souls lore in my fucking head, trying to figure out what the fuck he just ate. But I can't grasp it.
I can't remember the name of it. That's the problem. Otherwise, I would have told you the name.
I can't.
Before Patches goes, I would like to buy some cat food. And some, cat toys and cat equipment.
He pulls out, it almost looks like a care package, and he says it's free, and just hands it to you.
Really? Aww.
Basically, he said he's just going to provide cat food for you. And there are a handful of toys that can be played with, like, while you're in the house and such.
Is there a brush?
Do what?
Is there a brush?
Yes, there's a brush. There's pretty much most of those little niceties and care products in there, with the exception of like shampoo and that sort of thing. But that's because he already knows that you can magically clean. As a group, you can.
You know, this entire time I've been thinking if I needed something. And yes, I am curious, Patches. Do you have a arm crossbow that could attach to my frame?
He spends a moment thinking, and then he apologizes. He thinks, I think it could be done, but I don't know how. And as I was sorting through the catalog, it doesn't seem to exist in this world either. Perhaps if you could figure out how your rapier works, maybe you could find a way to modify that.
I see. Thank you. I will work on it.
Captain, wasn't there something you needed?
Hey, yes, thank you. Your name's Patches. I haven't talked to you yet. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderfully. Thank you for asking. Also, my apologies about hanging you upside down in my shop, Captain Flowers.
You did what now?
Water under the bridge. What can I get for you?
Water under the bridge, indeed. Yeah, might have a portable pantry by chance. I'm doing a little cooking.
I can't keep a straight face even close to enough to try doing the voice right now. Yes, it's the cost of a portable hole.
You broke Jess.
You did. It's just the one silly thing after another in this conversation. Just, oh man, it's too funny. Let's see. He is unfortunately unable to sell you a portable hole at the moment, as it is a rare.
Sure.
So you'll have to get a bit stronger before he'll be able to send something like that through to you.
Fair enough. That should be it then. That's all I was kind of thinking of.
Alright, last call.
I will grab the stuff that I am required to grab from him for my spell. And then I think we are good to go.
So as far as like the materials having already... Oh yeah, you haven't made it yet. Never mind. I was about to say, you would have technically had to have bought that sooner. No, you buy it right now.
Now is the time.
Yeah, you'll have to reach out of game context level 7 before you can buy the rare items.
Damn.
So you got 3 more levels to go before you can get that portable pantry.
Mm-hmm. And with that, after Nick does his shopping, I'll close the link.
Alright, it sounds like everyone's pretty much just messing with their stuff at the moment, / general rest, relaxation. Twilight, are you handing out good berries, or does everyone need to worry about food?
I'll hand out good berries.
Thank you kindly.
Thanks, Twilight.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and take our break right here so I can grab my books that I stupidly used to put up my curtain instead of something else. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. So 28 after. We will get started no later than 33 after.
Okay.
Cool. Wrath is gonna bother Nick tonight, by the way.
That's fine. I'm down for it. Both.
Get freaky with your beat, with your beat, with your beat. Get freaky with your beat, with your beat, with. Get freaky.
So we are back. I looked it up. Once Dylan finally rejoins us, I will go ahead and let them know how much it actually costs. Tempest, I found the information for your rifle. I've got that set up. It's in Highroad rewards. Basic rifle, because I'm basically taking it in between the hunting rifle and the musket. It's 1d12 damage on a hit. It has a range of 40 feet, 120 long, so disadvantage between 40 and 120. Uses ammunition, of course, with reload 6 shots. So each time you buy a round of shots for it, it'll cost 6, and it's 1 gold per clip. It does take 2 hands to use it as well.
Okay. To start.
Oh, no, why did I, okay, I didn't close it, good. Yeah, so everyone gets to wake up nice and refreshed the next day. No issues, no weird dreams for Pius. You've been up for a couple hours. Nick was finishing up their spell.
Is Nick here?
Dylan is not. Unless, of course, they're just having issues with the mic, as has happened from time to time with all of us.
Flicker.
I'm here.
Okay, you are. By the way, it only costs 50, so it's 50 gold, of course, for your diamond, and it was 25 gold for the spell.
Oh, I thought it was... Okay.
It's
a level 1 spell.
Yeah, it's a level 1 spell. It's 50 times... Well, for you, while making these spells, you're getting a little bit of a bonus, because technically you're, like, Archmage level, like, sort of thing going on here. It's 25 times the level, so... So you spend a total of 75 on those two.
Okay. So I'll take back... It was... I gave him 125.
Yeah, so you get 50 of that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how's everyone starting the day? It's nice, it's warm, you've been cozy asleep all night.
I actually wanted to do something before bed, if possible.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that before we actually move the scene forward to the morning.
Raph, taking out his tattooing supplies that he's been practicing with, he's gonna look at them for a second before going over to Nick's room and just knocking on the door.
Come in!
Nick, I was wondering if you could help me with something. I saw you use a spell that I'm actually somewhat familiar with today, and I was wondering if there's some kind of visual representation for the energy you use to cast it. It was thunder, correct? You used thunder to shatter that rock?
Yeah, it was the shatter was the spell, and thunder is the energy that spell produces, correct?
Yes.
I was wondering if you could maybe show me what the representation for the energy would look like in your book. And he just wants to learn what those, the symbol or equation or whatever that would be for thunder element, basically, in magic speak.
Sure.
So that he can...
It's actually applicable to what I'm doing this evening. So that works well for me.
Yeah, so of course, Nick, you would know, like, the baseline equation before it gets mucked up by all the stuff that makes a spell what it is.
Yeah.
But you also know the rune for it in Abyssal, and Infernal, and Celestial, because you know those languages.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would show you the different versions of how it would look in each of those. I would show you my preferred configuration, which would be either the Celestial or the Infernal, because I like the duality. I would also be like, this is applicable for me for the evening, because I actually have to remove lightning from a spell, which is not quite but it's similar. So I figure I could show you that as well.
Of course, yeah. I'd love to learn that. You're removing lightning from a spell. What does that leave it with?
Well,
The concept of having like more than one energy in a spell is completely foreign.
yeah, and I would show you. I'd pull out the essentially the base, or flip to my spellbook and show you chromatic
Okay.
orb. And I'd show you the different, like, okay, this section here is the acid part. This section here is the lightning damage. This section here is the fire damage. And like, chromatic orb's an interesting spell because it can do whatever we tell it to do. You probably have this spell or understand the nature of this spell, but this is how it's broken down. This is the math of the spell.
I've never held a spell that had more than one nature like this. I lie. I do have spells that take lightning and thunder. I've seen those magics mix, but I can't imagine it being harmonious with the way fire would. I'm very limited.
Wrath, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me real quick. But more so just to flavor this a little bit more, in particular with the way Chromatic Orb works, because the spell is fundamentally like the same regardless of the damage type you use. It's more one of those things where it extracted that original base equation of each element so that it became a singular variable when actually applied to the equation. So it's kind of like whether you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into the equation instead.
What I imagined it working, and this is just my brain, the way I imagined the spell kind of being written out, or how if you could read, you know what I mean? If you could read a magic spell,
right?
The way I always imagined it is it's like feeding in code to a computer, and you're doing an if-then statement.
Yeah.
That's all the way my brain pictures it, is like, if this, then this. If this, then this. If this, then this.
Right.
And
No,
you're
yeah,
just
that makes sense.
and you're just telling it. Well, you tell it true or false. So if this is false, then it becomes a switch.
Right. But you're speaking to the one who's role playing the one who has never cast anything that has an if then. It's lightning, it's storm, it's thunder, it's things like that.
So what'd you get on the Arcana check?
A 12.
A 12?
Mm-hmm.
It's baseline enough that thanks to whatever little bit Wrath or Lance actually knows about coding or anything, kind of blending over and just the way basic algebra works, it does make some sense.
Right.
As far as like necessarily remembering it off the top of your head, not enough time to memorize it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not trying. All he's trying to do. So he's taking the symbol for thunder and now lightning because you offered, and he's gonna practice drawing it, and then he's gonna practice tattooing it on that skin. Kind of as a larger. He's gonna design this all before he tattoos it on the skin, but kind of a larger symbol, like almost like a centerpiece of the if it were a page of a book, like a large illustration of these two symbols, kind of, and just artistically designing them together, taking his own artistic will and looping around here and there, or creating lightning to connect the two, stuff like that.
Go ahead and roll a dexterity check real quick.
Okay. Yay. 22.
22. So as you're just practicing and you're kind of just testing the symbols and the designs, you manage to catch a singular combination of the two that once you do the last brush stroke and kind of complete it, between the two of the symbols, almost interlock together, you notice the two of them kind of light up with lightning following the brush strokes you made, and they reverberate slightly, making the entire piece of leather kind of shift and shake slightly.
Amazing. Okay. So with that, he'll probably use the last little bit of time before going to bed to kind of feel, like, just expand his sorcery senses to just feel out this magic that he just created in this thing.
Yeah, so it does dissipate fairly quickly, but you can still feel the trace amounts of it where it flowed through, and you can actually feel how the rune itself acted almost as a conduit for the energy in the air, and it was actually drawing that in and turning it into the magic.
Okay. So yeah, getting a decent understanding, he'll put it up and go to bed at that point.
By the way, I love these little RPs involving magic, its theory, and how it's crafted, because I actually do have a considerable amount of lore in how that works.
Oh.
It's silly stuff that I literally never expected to come up, but I have an entire fundamental how it works.
Well, get ready, because I have a lot of downtime stuff to do.
A lot of it's stuff that you guys really can't cover in this one, because it's stuff that like the technology just doesn't exist for until like Arc 3 of the trilogy.
Right.
But
that's fair.
There's lots of little things like how it draws the energy from the surrounding areas and shifts it into the magic that is occurring.
And then, again, before bed, and I would probably ask Wrath to come with me. Because I'm going to say, Wrath, there is something that I wanted to try.
Sure.
I don't necessarily want everybody around for it, but having a buddy to make sure if anything happens to me is probably a good idea.
Sure.
But we should go outside. You know, take him outside, and when we get outside, I will flick my wrist and use wrist pocket.
It comes out with no issues.
And pull out the larger piece, and I'm gonna set it on the ground as far away from us as possible, and be like, okay, I'm gonna try and break it back down.
So the first thing I want you to do is make a wisdom save from touch. Oh no, you have the gloves on still, never mind.
I have the stupid gloves on, which I actually meant to get removed. I realized that as you were like, all right, it's bedtime, and I was going through everything I have.
You've got it. It's an uncommon, so 50 gold for the scroll, and you can undo that curse and get them unattuned.
Okay, I will do that in the morning. For now, they're useful.
For now, they're useful.
And I will. So, and I'll actually ask for Wrath's opinion. So, my first thought was mending. To return it to its original shape. But then that raises other questions, because what if it's broken on purpose? We're combining it together.
Well, and I'm not terribly good at it, but I can mend a thing or two myself. It was useful on the ships. I don't know if that, unless, granted, you are a much more learned spellcaster than I don't know if that would be powerful enough. These seem like...
No, and the concern I have is I don't know if Shattered is going to be powerful enough.
So you do know from the little bit you have been messing around. Like even just thinking about Identify was starting to cause a connection. When you cast Comprehend Language is not exceptionally powerful spell, but what you were casting on was something essentially from these Torment Fragments. It doesn't seem like it's that hard to affect them. It's just what the consequences may be from doing so.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
They
I mean,
do seem to react very powerfully to any form of magic, even life essence, which is even weaker than a cantrip. It's reacted to and mutated.
Yeah. Maybe we should leave it alone.
Well, I think if we do experiment with this, like you're suggesting, I appreciate your confidence in bringing me, but I do think everyone should be alerted of the risk if something were to happen.
Fair enough. And I'll put it back.
I will point out one other thing, though, real quick. Both of you would have a high enough insight to kind of see this as characters, especially Nick, who's really devolved into devolved, who's really delved into magic. Everything has seemed to do what it's supposed to, just in a really crazy way. So presumably mending would mend it, whatever the definition of mending is at that moment.
Right.
Yeah, but my concern is that if the
If mending it brings all of the shards suddenly,
yeah, back together, and now we have this giant fucking shard, and I think that whatever broke it apart was trying to avoid that.
Probably.
So I'd say that theory resonates very, very strongly. You hear my voice tell you, I'm proud of you. I am, but I am sad because not even one attempt this time. But you're right. It's broken. Mending it would only put it back together.
Yeah. Thanks, Jess. Okay, let's call it a night.
Okay.
And as we walk past Captain Flower's bedroom, I'm gonna lean as close to the door as I can and just go, mayonnaise, and walk away.
Oh, I love the mayonnaise so much. And I am just assuming that prestidigitation is being cast, because this is a lot of mayonnaise that's getting on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I'm keeping it. I'm cleaning up afterwards. And it's only if they don't use it during the day. Because if you remember to use it in the morning, I can't do anything to it.
That's very true. Yeah, so you all are able to get a good night's rest and wake up in the morning. That kind of that feeling of refreshment you had after waking up yesterday, it's definitely, you're not as refreshed as you were, that's for sure. That little buff is gone. But there seems to be magical fires that exist in this world that just burn eternally once lit, and they seem to provide some type of bonus for resting within their area.
Very nice.
So how's everyone getting their day started?
Has the snow melted?
Oh no, definitely not. Just going outside in the morning after it had enough time to finish like settling. Just pushing the door open pushed away a considerable number of inches of snow that had built up around it. It laid very, very thick after everyone settled down.
I would be, even though our buff is gone, I would still be very chipper in the morning because I did a spell last night.
Very nice.
Oh yeah? Well, I did a book. Oh.
So I would I'd be in a pretty good mood and I would ask for my daily snack if I can, Tempest.
Yeah, go for it. I just tossed him the bag because I'm making pew pew noises with my gun right now.
He's not even firing it, just making pew pew noises. Did you want to buy more ammo for it? Because right now you do only have the 6 shots.
And I will pull out a McGriddle.
Heck yeah.
That is true. I could use more bullets.
If we need, actually, let's just go ahead and do it because you're thinking about buying a thing, so I know he's listening. Patches.
He's a leech.
Finally starting to catch on, Nick. You are the sharpest in the group. What can I do for you this morning?
I need a remove curse.
Absolutely. And he hands it over for you after confirming the terms of the 200 gold.
Do I need to even tell you?
If we don't say it out loud and don't make a deal, then I can't do anything.
Yeah, but that's not answering my question. Then I'll leave it there and walk away.
I want to hear you say it. I need to hear it.
And I will take these stupid gloves off.
Yeah. You have to get Pious, of course, to actually use the remove curse scroll. But once he does, it's all good. You can take them off.
Pious.
Yeah. Yes, I use the scroll.
Thank you. And I will reattune to my wand of the War Mage. Oh, spell's good again. Alrighty.
Patches, take my money.
So it is 1 gold per clip. How many clips did you want to buy?
There's 10 golds.
All right, he is more than happy to accept your coin for money. To accept it for money? I said that backwards. Yeah, he's more than happy to accept that and give you your ammunition.
Give it to me.
He looks at you and smirks as if he's about to make a dirty joke, and then refrains and simply finishes the transaction.
Smart choice. Would have been my first test target.
Alrighty.
Well,
So
anything anyone want to do?
I want to cast my new spell. Preferably at a target.
Where is it? You all can get a good start to the day, get yourselves together, clean up, start down the road. About 3 hours in, sorry, I just distracted myself. But about 3 hours in, you hear a bunch of hissing off the side of the road. It seems to be a little bit away. It's not terribly far. But your little friend Pseudo Dragon definitely sends you some messages indicating that pretty sure that's another brood of Pseudo Dragons nearby.
We have company, perhaps, everyone. No. Start looking around to see if I can spot any of them.
Food or friends?
Friends, I think. If we can stop them from stealing our things, that is.
Yes, just have your friend, Wrath, tell them what happened to the last group.
Right. And I'll say in Draconic, do you mind explaining to them that we're probably not the best people to mess with?
It nods, and you can tell it's trying to like send out some signals out that way, in the general direction. But it kind of like cocks an eye towards you and basically gives you the they didn't respond. They're ignoring.
They're not responding. And he'll grab, like, he'll make sure his bag is tight against him and holding his pouches and things.
Oh, I apologize in advance to your friend, Wrath.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But let me try one thing at least. And he'll say in Draconic very loudly, "My friends, the pseudo-dragon's hiding around us. We come in peace. Please leave us as such."
Go ahead and roll a persuasion for me.
Persuasion? Man, my rolls are bad tonight. 13.
Their rolls are bad too. You take it that they seem to think you're not friendly, as you can hear them just and start scattering.
Well, scattering. Does everyone still have their things?
They didn't seem to be nearby, at least at the moment, so. But yeah, everyone's still got all their pouches.
It might be okay.
Yer.
Alright. Well, should we just avoid this? They're not necessarily a danger, unless they steal the last of someone's food, maybe, but...
Hey.
I feel as though anyone can really deal with them if they are quick enough.
I agree. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Possibly, but I'm getting a feeling something is about to happen.
Are you gonna shit out another weapon?
No, my roll sensors are tingling.
Oh, interesting. Where are those located exactly?
I would have to show you in private. It's very personal.
Gotcha. Yes, of course.
Both of them. They're, yes. You understand.
I think I got it now, yes. I remember.
My testicles, Wrath.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I do not have testicles.
We could build you some, though.
Why, though?
Just so that you can swing them in someone's face. I don't know.
I'm terrified that Deuce is dying laughing to that. But we'll think about it, for sure.
Put it on the shelf.
It's not a no.
That's not a no.
Yes.
Bias, you and you alone, you recognize my voice by this point, for sure. Just a whisper. Truck with nuts.
What? Sorry, what was that first part again?
Truck.
Oh. Holy shit!
Bias, are you okay?
Oh dear. What are these images? My god. And Nuri are so weird in the future.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, yes, maybe we should move along.
Everyone agree?
Hey.
They can't sneak up on us. Let's go.
Yes, you're traveling for about another hour, and you notice probably about 12 pseudo dragons just suddenly bolt out in front of you across the road. They're making a lot of noise. They're hissing, they're screaming as if they're running from something. They had been for a little bit before they even got to the road. But they kind of just keep running across. So you're already aware these aren't exactly animals, and speak with animals will not help.
Shit.
Do we see what they're running? You said we don't see what they're running from?
You don't see anything that they're running from, no.
They appear to be afraid of something.
Should we be afraid of it?
I very much doubt it.
Yeah.
Tempest, you feel a tug at your waist.
What is this?
There's a pseudo dragon trying to take your bag.
Bitch, no. Pick it up by the scruff of its scales.
It starts squealing horrendously, and it becomes very obvious very quickly that the others ran in front of you as a distraction.
I'll pick it up. I'll take it out of her hand.
You can take it, but you're not keeping this one.
Lance, or Justin, god damn it, Brain, stop making real names. Captain Flowers, Wrath, Twilight, as you all kind of like start moving in response to this, your weight seems to shift a little bit, like you're missing a counterbalance that would normally be there.
I will immediately slam my staff into the ground and cast Thunder.
That's everything in a 60-foot radius.
Let me double check that. Oh, here it is. Yes, 60 foot.
So everyone except Wrath, go ahead and roll a Constitution save. What's the DC on it?
17.
Well, shit.
I think I'm good.
I got a 14.
Is that?
Here's my lucky feet.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and do that since you're back at 3 uses of it after sleeping.
Of course, it didn't do much good last round, so...
It's hard to roll lower than a 2, though, so...
You say that.
But it could happen!
Yep.
See? I got a nat 1.
No, you got an S20 plus 6 instead of 1D20 plus 6.
So it's 6 damage for those of you that failed. And you're deafened for 1 minute.
I could actually use my spell to actually not make them deaf.
Yes, you
That's
can
true.
use a spell for that if it seems to be getting a problem. So Twilight passes. Tempest passes. Captain Flowers, we still need your con save. Pius got a 14 and failed. How about Nick?
How do I deafen a robot?
I didn't realize I was muted. 22.
22. You passed as well. These
only the
little
robot.
pseudo dragons failed as well. No, Captain Flowers failed too.
Oh.
Well, I feel like if you, like Ronnie James Dio, for instance, he had to bring his own mic to places to record like things because he would destroy everybody else's mic with his voice. So if you use a high enough or a strong enough sound, it could fry.
It's basically a semi-organic sensor, so you can still damage the sensors.
Right. I just think it's ironic.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, those pseudo dragons fail, and every single one of them just collapses. All of them seem to be convulsing and unconscious.
I look for my bag.
Yeah, you can readily find the bags that were taken. There are 16 of these things currently dying.
I look at the pseudo dragon on my shoulder. You good with this?
It gives you a
Same.
Yeah, like it's conflicted.
I am not okay with this.
Well, you are free to heal them. Good berries may suffice for some of them.
Or we can eat them.
I think they've learned their lesson, so I'm not going to torture them. But I definitely tried to dissuade them.
So you all can hear. I didn't roll the hermit.
I'm pretty sure he passes passively.
Practically, yes. He has such insane bonuses. Oh, which that whole like 29 to hit, 26 to hit with that roll. I actually completely forgot to factor in. He also had an additional +3.
Jesus.
This is a Constitution save. Okay. Yeah, he got a 28. He's good. But he after this and noticing them, he seems upset because things are hurt, even if he understands why they are hurt. And he starts humming a tune that I cannot imagine any of you having not heard. And he starts humming in the arms of an angel. That really sad, take care of the poor kids or animal song.
Despacito.
Of darkness.
Well, you notice that he seems to have summoned up healing energy when he did that, as all of the pseudo dragons kind of pop back up. It's just not possible for him to roll less than their maximum hit points on what is clearly mass cure wounds as he hums.
And now, fuck off.
Yeah, no, they scatter quickly, and if you hadn't like picked up your bags back, they even drop those and just bolt.
Can I tell how far into the tree line they go?
They seem to be running back slightly in the direction that you came from. It's just a very slight angle, but mostly it's out towards the east. And you do know that they tend to hoard shiny things, and these ones seem to be a bit more intelligent than the one your friend is from, so they may actually have a little bit of a stash going.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Should we follow them and show them what it is to take from another?
They could have a stash.
Collect many shiny things.
I am okay with that. Let's show it how it goes, Let's steal from the stealers.
Maybe just punish them by taking a thing or two. Let's not take their whole hoard or anything.
Why not?
They just little babies.
It's not like they did us any harm. My apologies for doing that part of it.
It's necessary.
Yeah, you notice the hermit perk up a bit, like, just because you acknowledge that you harmed them.
And I kind of perk up a little bit too. Wow, you acknowledge that you harmed things. I didn't think you had it in you, buddy.
He's not a moron.
New things to learn every day. Well, Shall we? I think their tracks should be fairly easy to follow in the snow.
Yes.
And I'll start.
It's just not. It's not possible for you guys to fail it. Basically, it would be like a DC 5, guaranteed.
Done pretty bad.
Even with a group check, just the hermit alone having a plus 13 makes his minimum roll a 14. I'm pretty sure you guys will get above 5 average. Yeah, so you end up following them probably about a half an hour backwards in the end before you finally get to where their home is. And you can see that unlike the other group, they don't have like a bunch of like busted knives, armor pieces, or anything like that. Instead, they are sitting on, for their size, a fairly large pile of gold coins and gems, including a gold diamond, black diamond, roughly the size of the one Nick bought.
Well, see anything any of you want?
That black diamond.
I want the diamonds.
Yeah, there's a couple of smaller diamonds, a ruby, a sapphire, several emeralds.
Oh,
Ooh, I like the emeralds.
I think now would also be a good time for you to use your detect magic.
Me?
You've been dying to use it. If not,
Suppose I
I
could.
can. If not, I can
Yeah,
do it.
if you want me to, yeah, I'll do it.
Go right
I
ahead.
didn't think it would do any good, but
If you're looking at a loot hoard, detect magic always a good idea.
got it.
It can help find the hidden loot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, detect magic then.
Because for some reason, they never hide the good stuff that far away.
Would I tell if it's buried too?
Oh yeah, you can tell exactly where it is, as you can like actually see the auras of these things. And as you finish casting the spell, you can see there is a magical aura underneath their pile. Underneath their nest of coins and gems.
Suppose I could turn into a groundhog.
It doesn't seem to be that deep. You know that there's at least a few feet of snow, and it's only maybe a foot below it. As if they probably just stopped being able to unbury it as the snow piled.
Anybody know? Well, let's get the top loot first, and then we'll go with the bottom.
Yeah, so obviously it's up to you exactly how much you're gonna take or leave, but there's 282 gold pieces and 804 gold worth of gems. Or 840, not 804.
Are there any sapphires?
Yes, a sapphire worth 75 gold.
I'll grab that. Just staring, if the little pseudo dragons are there, just staring them down the whole time menacingly.
As soon as they saw you coming, they bolted again.
Okay. And you said it was worth how much? I'm sorry.
75 gold piece sapphire.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Is there an amethyst?
Ooh, let me. 40% chance. I did not determine specific gems because I actually didn't expect you to care that much as a group. No amethyst.
Damn.
Diamonds were pretty much guaranteed to be in it, though, just because they're such a common component, in particular for things like Revivify.
It's Deuce's favorite color, and he wanted it fixed to Pius's chest.
I'm just gonna grab a handful and throw them in my bag of holding, and I'll count it out later and figure it out then.
All right.
And I think that's it for me. We good to leave them with what they have?
Alright.
No,
Yep.
I want to actually see what they got underneath the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you basically have to like shove it all to the side and such.
Molder.
It's snow. You can't mold earth snow. You would need shape water.
Damn.
But you kind of brush off all that to the side and dig the snow out, which isn't hard. And you find a scythe underneath. And you did find it because it was magic of some kind.
It's a scythe.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna take the scythe.
Yeah, and you can all see as Twilight just pulls up this magical scythe. For the blade itself is primarily just that steel silver, but along the upper edge, it's painted with some type of green markings. Like not a forest green, but like a bright, almost neon green.
Can I make out what it says?
They're not words. They seem to just be patterns. Geometric shapes and the such.
I wonder if the hermit can actually help me figure out the patterns, what they mean.
You said we could all see this?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you say that, and do you say that out loud?
No.
Not you, Twilight.
Can the hermit help me figure out what these markings mean?
Well, I mean, like, I just say, hey, hermit, can you figure out what the... I don't know what these markings mean. Do you know what they are by chance?
It's magic.
No kidding!
I think they're just pretty shapes. Nick would probably be better when it comes to magic.
That shit's magic, yo.
You heard it here. I want to have a scythe measuring contest. I'm intrigued. It's got my attention.
Twilight, you feel a slight tinge of disgust in the back of your mind that you can tell is coming from the other person inside your head. Because I'm already well aware, Maya, you do not like this particular shade of green.
Why?
I don't like this particular shade of green.
Maya is not a fan of most bright greens.
Nope.
Yeah, and it's like a bright neon green for all these shapes and designs on it.
Nope, sorry. I'm gonna have to retcon that and turn you around there, little one.
As Twilight's voice just kind of changes and she starts...
Excuse me, but I'm taller than you.
Tempest is walking away now, not saying anything.
Yeah, you're all pretty sure that Tempest just kind of went, and nope. The other person took over and just went, no, not dealing with this. Because I don't think in-game the other person's actually been introduced. I don't think Maya has been introduced by name to everyone.
That's fair. Would you like me to learn about your scythe?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So
And-
you can definitely do that while you're on the road as well.
yeah, I figure I'll detect magic while we continue. Or not detect magic, identify as we continue.
Detect magic. Is this magic?
Yes,
Yes, it
magic.
is.
Yep. What is this magic? Yes.
Is this a magic?
I've had one magic today, guys.
It only takes one before you're hooked.
True.
Well, just ask Captain Flowers. If you lick it, it's always good times.
Hey, once you lick one, it's always great times. Always great times.
That him or the button? I gotta ask.
It's the button.
Oh,
It's so hard. So hard to tell.
it's so authentic.
It's so
I mean, it's because it is. It's literally just his voice. I just cut it out of the episode where he said it.
Just make that the alarm in the morning. Scare the fuck out of you.
Just shit, Justin. What are you doing? Oh, that's my alarm. I mean, I did actually do something similar to that in the past. When I was like 19, I told my roommate to just record him shouting something, anything to use as an alarm. So he did, like, away. So I didn't know what it actually was. The first time it woke me up. Oh, it left me in a bit of a fright because the alarm was just him screaming, "Wake up, you stupid fucker," and just on loop. It was a really good alarm. So, yeah, you're able to identify it. It's just a +1 scythe. The markings on it are pure flavor. They have nothing to do with the magic.
Sure.
You do recognize, though, that it seems to be some type of ancient script, though. You don't recognize it, though. It doesn't seem to be based on Draconic, Elven, or any language you've seen in a book. But you can tell from the patterns, it's more than likely some type of language.
Okay. Let me see. Did I prepare comprehend languages today?
Mhm.
I don't know if I did or not. I know I can ritually cast it, but if I have it prepared, I can do it instantaneously. Hey, nope, as a ritual. Never mind, didn't prepare it.
Mhm.
Ritual it is. We gotta do that later.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that later on my camera. I just have a feeling you guys are gonna try a ritual.
What if it says, hey, this scythe is cursed as hell?
Yeah, it could say something like, "Whosoever bears this staff will be marked by the god of death, eternal to suffer."
Yeah. It could also say, I'm with stupid. Like, do you really want to have a weapon that says that about you?
I hope it says that. I'm so excited to meet the god of death.
I'm gonna roll a percent because I didn't actually decide what it said. I figured I'd come up with it on the fly. But
You still got time? I'm not comprehending languages yet.
We're stupid.
Yep, I won't tell you the results, but there's a chance that it says either of those things.
I really want a weapon that just says I'm with stupid. It's like a really fancy
Fine, I found
On a
it.
shield. Just blatant on a shield.
just on the front of the shield.
Mhm.
It'd be like those QR code shirts where you scan it and it says "fuck you."
Oh god. It's a link. It's a link to a Rickroll. If you
Oh god.
if you scan it, it's just a link to a
I'm Okay, no, I'm not even. I'm ignoring that roll. That's literally what this is. When you cast Identify, Comprehend Languages on it, you literally just boom in your head. You get rickrolled.
There we go.
Hands
Awesome.
down.
Love it.
No choice. But yeah, that's not at this point. Is anyone doing anything specific while traveling down the road?
Nick is sketching tattoos.
You can sketch while walking? Hold on, I've been doing downtime all wrong.
It might be a little harder with that giant canvas of yours, but
True. Yeah, you have a book. You have like a hard surface, I guess.
various sheets of paper and such.
Yeah, actually, what y'all don't see is I'm just on Pius's shoulders.
Perfect.
I've just climbed up here. Nobody's paid attention.
Not even Pius. He's too busy tinkering with his arm blade. He doesn't even realize you're up there.
Accidentally shaving my legs.
Shaving your elven legs and don't grow hair.
Yep.
Yeah. Just as you're all going, you don't notice anything else out of the ordinary, and you manage to cover another like 32 miles during the day. But with your little detour and everything, it's actually closer to 7 o'clock this time around. So the sun is almost completely set by the time you're kind of at that normal day's end travel. That feeling of starting to get a little tired.
Twilight, what's the weather look like for tomorrow?
What's the forecast?
Sleet for 7 hours.
Yuck.
Oh, when is that starting?
It's gonna be shit for 7 hours.
I don't like that at all.
It's not going to start until about 3 p.m.
Early and quick day tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, if you skip the normal leisure time, go to bed early, you can get up and still get a few hours in. Quite a few hours. Most of your day's travel before the sleet starts.
I have a few things I want to do before bed, but Twilight, do you mind if I get one of those good berries?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could get probably about 2 hours of downtime in and still be good.
Okay.
I'm gonna do two things. Well, one thing do things at the same time. There we go. Before I go to bed. Possibly three things. One, I would show Laugh some of the tattoo ideas that I came up with for myself. Which we'll get around to whenever that happens. And then I want to be like, oh, the spell I made. Pius, Raph, y'all want to see it?
What is it now?
It's
Yes,
my new
what?
spell.
New spell.
I made two new spells. One I can't cast yet, but I'll try. And then the other one I can cast fairly regularly now.
Sure.
And I will cast Astral Void, choosing radiant damage for the first one. So it will. I'll pull out the black diamond that I got, and I'll focus energy through it, and it'll shoot out. And then for a moment, it'll be black, and then as it leaves, it'll turn pure white, and then like crackle and expand. And then I will cast it again, and this time it'll do the same thing, but it'll be white for a second, and then switch to black. And it'll like, rather than crackling, it almost looks like tentacles. Like, it's much more fluid and liquid and viscous almost. not the same kind of energy.
Nick, can you cast it again? Do you mind if... This is going to sound strange. I want to feel the light energy that you used. I've never... I can grasp a concept of fire. Obviously, I know thunder and lightning very well, but I've never focused on what that feels like. Do you mind if I just hold your shoulder while you cast it? Maybe I can feel some of what you're channeling.
Sure.
I want you both to roll Arcana checks.
Okay.
Separately?
Separately, yes.
Okay.
I'm terrible at Arcana. I got a natural 1 for 4.
Oh no!
What'd Nick get?
I got a natural.
I think it's picking up the wrong mic, maybe? It's hard to understand.
Yeah, like you just turned into a cackling robot almost.
I also rolled a nat 1.
Nice.
With Wrath like trying to reach his energy and just like make the slightest connection to feel, and you trying to open up that connection. It's not the first time you've kind of blended magics together. In the process, you both kind of flub it, and for whatever reason, Wrath ends up shooting it out of his hand into your back.
I'm so sorry, friend.
It's okay.
But Wrath, you get a very good feel for how this spell works. In less than half a second, like it's like an entire choir sprung up in your mind and your heart, playing an entire symphony through 10 minutes long before it snapped back and it just fired out of your hand.
That was... Excuse the pun, but holy.
Holy Nike!
You experience that every time you Pius is here, right?
Yes,
Pius, this is the magic that you feel?
it is. It's very different than the other elements.
Something else entirely. It's a communion.
Yes. It is based on faith for most.
Do you have faith, Nick?
Yeah. Yeah. Where I grew up, faith was important, oddly enough, for a wizarding community.
It was very important, seeing as in the Astral Sea, like the job you were all set to, kind of like how the Raven Queen and her domain and what she did with the elves there, it's very similar to that, except the Astral Elves of Maluviette were set to this task by Ferroti and Tatali themselves. The god of life and the goddess of death actually were the ones that gave the Astral Elves their duties.
That's why I named this spell the Astral Void, since it represents both sides of that coin.
But Nick, the other side of that coin must be so terrible.
Yeah, if I feel like getting shot in the back again, we'll try the next one tomorrow.
Right, I apologize again. Do you need a healing potion?
I think I'll be okay. I'll sleep it off.
I'm sorry again.
It's fine. It happens with magic. I know, better than anybody. And if that hurt, the next one's really gonna hurt if I fuck it up. So
Right.
let's try.
Of course.
And I will try and cast Fury and Divine.
Yeah, if you're doing it without trying to connect the magics and everything, it goes off how it's supposed to. And seeing as you kind of have it set that it hits enemies and heals an ally, you're able to cast it just right there in the middle of everybody, without anyone being hurt. Will you receive the opportunity to heal?
So with this one, my handle raised up, and from the center of my hand, a portal almost opens up in the center of my hand, and you will see 3 black tentacles reach out and touch the closest target that I've decided, probably trees, just because it's the easiest thing to target without hurting anybody.
Right.
And the trees will just wither away and die. And then one bright light will shoot out of my hand and connect to me, and I will look better. I will heal.
That's amazing. I've never seen anything. Never seen anything so black and white.
That's fair. It's I had based it off with some friends I know.
That's something else, Nick. That's amazing that you can just craft these spells like that.
Oh, it's taken a long time for me to be able to be comfortable doing this. And once you get into it, it does become an addiction.
I'm sure.
But it also can lead to holes in your...
Yeah, you do know you're going to need to use mending to patch up your clothes a little bit. That way you don't turn into stripper Nick as those images pop in your head, and you now know what you would look like in some less than decent clothing.
No! But I just wanted to share those with the class.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. Thank you for showing me that.
No problem. More than willing to teach, more than willing to learn more.
Yeah, for sure. And Wrath is kind of still almost like stunned by what he experienced with the radiant magic. He's kind of in his own mind right now, trying to visualize it again, to feel it again.
Not the bug.
I want you to go ahead and roll an Arcana check. Like you do feel it, and you can kind of get that feeling going again for sure. It's just to what degree.
This is the only good Arcana check I will ever roll. It is a dirty 20.
Nice.
Go ahead and add that spell to your known spells.
Oh shit. Okay.
Wait, my version or the original?
Your version.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, as you're kind of trying to re-experience it and re-feel it, you don't quite get that same like choir moment that you did the first time, but you get all those same feelings and the power coursing through your body, and you can feel it start to coalesce in your hand. But with your experience of just kind of handling even lightning and keeping it from actually discharging, you're able to prevent yourself from actually casting the spell. But you notice that if you didn't do that, you would have launched another one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so with that, Raph will spend his 2 hours of downtime working on Nick's tattoos. Ideas. On pen and paper, not on the hide.
All right. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check then.
No fucking way. Natural 20, 25.
Hell yeah!
What exactly were the tattoos you were sketching up, though? Or just in general, were they arcane runes? Were they animals? Just kind of that general category of what it was.
It's an upper arm piece, and it's a multitude of scrolls that are all like flying through the air and like intertangling and stuff with a dark black background. And Nick can fill in the rest. I do have one detail that I'm going to add, though. One of those scrolls has that symbol that I drew on the cover of, or on the leather, the lightning and thunder combination.
Yeah, and it'll have like a blooming rose on the top, crowning everything, and then on random scrolls where you can see, like, because they like wrap around almost like infinite loops into each other. But every now and then there'll be,
Mobiuses, basically.
Yeah, or like Ouroboros is laid into each other, or an infinity knot almost, but much more chaotic. And then every now and then it'll have like runic symbols on it, or in some celestial, in some in abyssal, some in draconic, some in just different languages, just randomly thrown in.
Okay. So Wrath, you have a burst of inspiration, and even though you haven't really learned these various symbols and things, you can feel them as you're doing this. It just feels right from the magic you've had, as if the knowledge is just welling up inside of you. And the way you end up doing it is on all these different scrolls, you end up incorporating symbols for all of the elements, as well as these various phrases, incantations from draconic, celestial, infernal, abyssal, and one that you don't know how you possibly know the script, the words, or anything else, but you can feel the power welling up as you do, and you get this flash, this thought in your mind, and have a vision. And you can see exactly what a spell based on this could do. One that you could develop from this painting itself. As you see a chaotic emergence of all of the elements all at once, bursting forth as a geyser from the ground and enveloping large enemies, including an ancient golden dragon that falls under the pressure of the spell.
He kind of, finishing it up, he kind of just sets it down in front of him, his hands kind of shaking. Takes a moment to breathe, blows out his whatever light he's using, and just lays down in bed and just stares at the ceiling, just thoughts swirling.
Yeah, so you all get another pretty typical night's rest as well. There's no instances through the night. There is this lingering neutral feeling, like you're not sure how neutral itself could be a feeling, but it's almost like there's just that heaviness of an emotion in the air, not good, not bad. But there's no actual issues, and everyone gets a good night's rest as well.
Good.
Yeah.
So how are we handling the morning?
So the weather is doing what? It's like sweet.
Well, right now it's still fairly bright. Clouds are starting to roll in. It's about like 7 a.m. right now. You still have quite a few more hours until the sleet storm actually rolls in.
We should probably get as much ground as we can before it hits.
Let's move
I
it.
agree.
Let's go.
All right, I'm following your lead. Although Nick, I did finish some drawings you might want to look at, and he'll just pass them over.
Take a look at the sketches for the tattoos that he made.
Yeah. So Nick, you know that Wrath was only working with a quill, basic black ink, and paper, but you can see the color in it. The hues of red and blue and green aligning with the various elements drawn into this. It's on par with the greatest paintings you have ever seen.
Okay.
And you can feel the slightest radiation of magic from it as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast detect magic on it.
When you do, you get the exact same vision Wrath did. But you see it from a little bit different of a perspective. You see it from your own. You can tell that whatever this magic is would require the most capable of archmages in the world to cast. And you can feel the weight of the tattoo on your arm as the spell is cast from your own hands.
I'll stare at it for a while as we continue to walk.
So after about an hour, you hear a pretty disconcerting sound. It sounds like a pack of bears nearby, but their roars and snarls sound almost like they're echoing with a demonic fury. You can't tell how far away they are, but they're off to the west somewhere.
It's fucking gore.
Oh my.
You said they're to the west?
Yes, they're to the west.
Well,
Sounds like trouble.
yep.
Penguins.
That sounds like penguins?
That's not penguins.
It's gotta be penguins. It has to be.
If you think it's penguins, Captain, let's go kill some fucking penguins, I guess.
Yeah.
Where penguins?
Penguins. Count out their little tiny heads. Yeah.
Nick will lean over to Twilight and be like, if that's what penguins sound like, we're fucked.
Captain Flowers just takes off running.
Yes, that's what penguins sound like. That's exactly the noise they make.
All right, we are sitting at about like 3.5 hours. We definitely don't have time to really get through a whole combat, so we will wrap up here for the night and come back. But Star, I don't know how you managed to jump the way the number of steps in logic to the hermit touching it and being okay. I don't know how you got to that end goal, but that was something I didn't expect for another couple of levels.
Oh,
So
shit.
good job.
I broke the game. Fuck! I broke the game. God damn it.
Good job. Like I've said before, a lot of this stuff is stuff you could encounter like anytime. Some of it you could have encountered and done before leaving Pallet. Like that's how far back some of this stuff could have been done. I just don't expect you to. So you jumped ahead of projections on that. So good job.
Yay!
Right, but that kind of fucked up your plan all the way, right?
Oh no. It blends into the story and just gives you different ways to consider the role play as you're approaching things.
I definitely forgot that I took Spell Sniper, and I could be casting that the stuff that I cast from so much further away now. Fucking Astral Void for me, because I set it at a 90 foot, because that's what the base for Chromatic is, right? So I can cast it at 180 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and wrap up the stream real quick. Everyone watching, thanks for joining us. I hope you're having fun with all this. Once we hit the end of the campaign, I will probably compile all this homebrew stuff we are collecting and creating along the way. Once I have a more mapped out projection of how it works, because especially like the spell creation is, I have a baseline that theoretically should work and be fine, but a little bit of play testing is always good for it before I call it final.
Well, and in the campaign where we're overpowered and like working our way back up is a good place to play test it, I think.
It really is. It makes sense lore wise, and everything's already designed for you to be overpowered. So if it does turn out to be overpowered, it works.
Wrath's head is spinning right now.
Yeah, now you have contemplations about a new 9th level spell you could potentially cast that you could possibly develop.
Yeah.
I had a thing I wanted to bring up, but I'll wait till is the stream ended?
Not quite.
We offline yet?
So
all right, I'll wait.
Thank you everyone for joining us. We will be back next week.
I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, buttons!